Hi guys, Mayflom here, and today I'm going to decorate a little box for gift giving. So this little foldable box I found at the Container Store. All you need to make a project like mine is you'll need a box, you'll need some adhesive, and you'll need one of my 28 Lilac Lane embellishment kits. You could actually do this with one of the bottles, one of the jars as well, but I like the embellishment kit for a couple of reasons for this. Number one, it's all, you know, organized and sorted and lovely here, so we've got all kinds of fun stuff. Number two, there's charms, and in some of them, for example, the Holly Jolly kit, there's little felt Christmas trees, which are just so cute and one of my favorite things, as well as pearls and beads and buttons and all of that good stuff. So I've already put a piece of cardstock in the bottom because there was, let's see if I can lift this back out. Yep. There's like $1. It was not $3.79, no way, but there was, you know, that it cost money and this and that. You can tape that in, or I just set it in the bottom and we're ready to go. Now, for me, I like to leave things a little bit on the plain side. Not super, super plain, but I do think it's fun to leave things kind of clean. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the trim here and I'm going to measure it out first just so I can kind of see how much I'm going to need. And what I am going to do, there's a magnet in here, but I don't think it's going to be affected by this at all. I'm going to measure how much I need here to make this work. And then I'm going to cut and glue. So I'm going to make it look like we've got this tied up with ribbon, but in fact, this is going to just pop open like magic. So I've got liquid adhesive for this, but also another really good thing for this is double-sided tape. Double-sided tape is excellent for this. And you know, this would work with any of the kits. I know it's not Christmas time, but, and this ribbon will work either side. It's not Christmas time, but I always like to try, especially when like I was just cleaning up and stumbled across this kit. And I like to start making some holiday projects before the holidays so that when the time rolls around, I don't feel like that's all I'm doing. I don't feel like I have to rush to get them all done. So it's kind of fun for me when it's very hot and summery. Do a holiday project here and there, do a holiday card, that kind of stuff. And then it's just a little more gradual for me. So with that pulled, what we're going to do is open the box and just the smallest amount under the lip there, and it's okay if it's not perfectly centered, don't worry about that. And then we're just gonna go all the way around, and it's like I said, it's okay if it's not perfectly centered, don't worry about it, it's gonna look fantastic. And up and around, and we can trim off if there's any excess, if there's any ick, and we can also use some liquid adhesive to tap this down really well so that there is no rough edges. But look at that. It looks like a little wrapped gift, but in fact, it's not. So like I said, I will add a little droplet of liquid adhesive here and let this dry open, but I don't want to do that here on film. So I'm going to move along, and what I am going to do here on the top is I am going to put down a heart of adhesive because I think it'd be fun. I like to have some kind of a shape. Heart doesn't have to be perfect. The heart also doesn't have to be full. This is kind of a glossy, hard cardboard box. It's pretty firm, so I know it's going to stand up to this. Now, what you're going to want to do if you want to make a shape like I am is you're going to want to pick a few bigger items and get those in place first. You want the bigger items in place first, and then I'll work with buttons and other things. I'm not going to want to use too big of buttons, only because with the scale of things, I want things to have a nice feel to them. And if you want to alter the shape of your heart, just use your buttons or whatever you're working with to kind of pull that adhesive in. Don't worry about it. You will be able to clearly see your shape. Okay, so I'm just going to go about starting with the buttons, and then I'll work smaller. Then I'll work into the pearls, and a lot of times what I like to do is pull it to the side and then just kind of push it into place. With the beads, we can add the little beads in there to help. The beads are really going to help us define the edges of this heart. Okay, and just fill it all the way in. Once you are satisfied with your shape, you've got a couple options. You could put something glossy over the top. I usually don't. I like the natural finishes of the buttons and things to really show. One of the things I will do though is you'll notice I didn't put any sequins down yet. I'm going to just put a few drops of glue here, especially over the areas with a lot of beads. That's going to, so that adhesive, this is PPA by US Art Quest that I'm using. That adhesive is going to soak in and become invisible, but it's also going to help any of those beads, heavily beaded areas. It's going to help them really stick. So then what I'm going to do is come in here and I'm going to add a few, not a ton, but just a few sequins on a layer on top, and I'm just using scissors or something else. Actually, an even better tool would be like a paper piercing tool you can use to kind of keep everybody in the shape that you want them in there. And let's see, those are both green. Let me grab a red one here, put a red one right here. Okay, it doesn't take a lot, and it doesn't take a lot of time either, and it's a lot of fun to make a project like this. Now, I am going to do one more layer of beads. What I'm going to do is just a tiny bit on the sequins and then add a bead on top of my various sequins. You could take as much time with this or do it as quick as you like. It totally depends on your preference and what kind of a project you're making. What shape. You could cover this entire surface. You could make a basic shape like a circle. Totally up to you, and so much fun, I have to say. Don't you just love that? And it's all ready to go. It's ready to be gifted. All it needs to do now is dry. I hope you have enjoyed this little tutorial. I will see you next time. Happy crafting.